Yes. Thank you very much. My name is Augustus. I'm the party leader of National Liberal Party. My Secretary General here has given a brief about the entire process. And I'm sure right now the whole country knows about what happened. They are aware about the elections that were held. They are aware that we won as a party against Wiper. We had 16 votes against Wiper's 7. I think that's not a matter to talk about anymore now, because the country is looking ahead at the future, at where we are heading to. And I know there are many questions coming up. Just a few hours ago, His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka claimed in public that I am a proxy of the government. I'm being used by the government. And I want to categorically say that this is a complete lie. I have been elected by 16 members in Azimio. 16 members out of 23 in Azimio. Where is the government's hand in all this? Even by the time the elections were held in July, Kalonzo was the leader of Azimio. He was the de facto because Raila was involved with other things. So he was in charge of that house, and in that house, the members of that house decided to give me the votes. So where does state proxy come in? This is just a language being used once somebody has lost. We went through a free and fair election and our party won. My candidature won. I've been backed by actual people. Actual parties have voted for me. And just as we must now see how to go forward as a country. I stated earlier that I'm willing to step down. I'm not cast in stone in this position. If this is something that's breaking the country apart, I'm willing to step down, but only to the right candidate. The same people who elected me in Azimio, if they today sit and say, we need to change this person, I'm willing to step down. I've called on Kalonzo and the Wiper Party, bring in the church elders, let us have a meeting, let us see where is the problem. We can't keep fighting in public. We can't keep fighting that the country is suffering. Kalonzo Musyoka has declared that he'll be a presidential candidate in 2027. Why does he want to choose his own referees? Why doesn't he trust the process? Why doesn't he empower that democracy within Wiper? He is the one who has stopped this process by wanting to install his own personal candidate for his own personal benefit. Where is democracy in that? You want to be a presidential candidate in 2027 and you want to start rigging right now? Seriously? Let us engage together. Let us see why Wiper is so scared of my candidature, of me being in that selection panel. And if the people who elected me agree, I will step down and will choose somebody else that Kalonzo wants. But we are not going to allow individual interests to enter into the selection panel, because then we are not serving this country. We are supposed to be doing this country a service by choosing the best commissioners, people of integrity. The things that Wiper is doing now, the things that Kalonzo is doing now, trying to impose his person. Where is the integrity in that? And you expect us to trust you in 2027 to be our president? 23 members of Azimio Party sat. 16 of them have voted for me. Please, accept that. Accept that verdict. They have confidence that I will select the best commissioners. I know they might not be the best commissioner for you, but they'll be the best commissioners for the coalition, for the majority that have voted for me. So, going forward, let us sit down. Let us reason together. Let us find a solution together. Let us not go fighting in public. This is a house affair. Let us sit down. Let us call the churches. Let us call all the parties. Let us agree and give the selection panel a panelist so that the commission can be formed. ODM has called me to step down. The only person who has pushed us to step down is Wiper Party, Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka. They have asked me to step down because they have said I cannot represent the interests of the party leader. And that's why I've refused to step down. Because I cannot, this is not how to serve this country. This is not how we are going to serve this country. I will step down if the entire team that voted for me comes and says, please, let's find somebody else.
An audio recording has surfaced of Kalonzo Musyoka trying to
Kenyan politics is, as we know, dirty. And I can clearly say that people have tried to play dirty with us. I have been approached with bribes. I've been offered money. I've been offered positions. That is a fact. And the fact that I've turned all these down is the reason why I'm being fought. Because some people thought somebody in my position should be, they should be able to compromise them. But I've said I don't need to be compromised. I don't need anybody's money. I don't need anybody's positions. I'll fight for the positions. If it's applying to be a permanent secretary, I'll apply that independently. But I don't need to impress somebody so that I get that position. It's time as a country we started honoring integrity, not just corruption. We cannot continue doing the same things over and over again and expect different results. We want this country to be better. So I have said no to bribes. I have said I'll not be bribed with money. I'll not be bribed with positions. And this is why I am being fought. This is why people don't want me in that panel. Because I think they wanted somebody who they can send commissioners to. And us as a party, as National Liberal Party, we have said no. We have stood our ground. And that explains why 16 people voted for me against Wiper 7-7.
Thank you very much. My name is Chris from Empowerment and Liberation Party. First and foremost, I want to thank the media for actually coming for this presser. And also, my appeal is to the people of Kenya and to the nation of Kenya. I know at the moment right now, the country wants change in the country. But change without the right foundation, change which is based on lies, will not propel this country in the right direction. It's unfortunate Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka has of late in the past 2 weeks given ultimatum to the government of Ruto, the president of Ruto, that he must compel the courts to drop, the complainants to drop their court cases in order to ensure that IEBC is to be formed. Well, the truth of the matter is that the government has not sued or brought any case against the formation of IEBC. Well, the truth of the matter, his own candidate is the one who has been in issues of they won rightfully, yet they are the ones who lost. My appeal to Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka is that being a statesman, as you are, and I believe as you have, being a person who globetrotted Africa, appealing to the governments to the matter of regard to ICC, I think the matter of lying to the nation that the government is involved, that is creating tension, as opposed to just saying that his cluster of Azimio, mostly between his difference between Honorable Augustus and Muli and Ambassador Muli, is the main beef of contention in this nation. And I think it would be fair and square if he can just come up and clean, state that he wants his candidate, as opposed to dragging names and the nation into a personal fight which we are not aware of. I would like to point out something very important. The selection panel has 9 different members, and the 9 members include Law Society of Kenya have 2 slots, accountants have 1 slot, interreligious have 2 slots, Parliamentary Service Commission has 2 slots, and PPLC has 3 slots. Have you noticed this time around, none of the other nominees have made any statement because they know the truth of the matter. They know that the problem is not in the president's government, the problem is not with them, the problem is not with the non-parliamentary, the problem is within Azimio. And to go even further, ODM has not made any statement because ODM has no problem with the process. The problem is between Wiper and National Liberal Party. And my appeal to Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, let's not mislead the nation with lies. Let's not put demands that the court must deal with the matter expediently. All cases must be withdrawn. That is also in a form being a dictator. Because if you say this must be done for this to happen, it means it's either your way or the highway. So I'm requesting him to put his differences aside, think of the best interests of the country now, not his best interests for himself, so that the country can move forward, and not to misdirect the public with wrong information, knowing very well that the country is already in a volatile state and is mistrust. Thank you.
Simama hapo apige story kwanza.
Simama kidogo.
Simama kidogo.
Piga tu story ya.
Chukua.
Hao wanasema hello.
I don't want internet.
Kama mtu ya nani amekupigia.
Nenda wewe pole.
Because wengine hawata. They are beating about the bush there. So you have to state facts as they are.
Well, we're ready when you're ready, eh?
Oh, goodness. So this is how
Najua. Sawa.
it's very bad.
Kazi ni yetu.
Yeah. Na mali ni vile
Wanangoja tu.
just putting things to perspective becomes a problem. But if they are ready, they can say.
Uko tayari ama? Kevin, tunangoja tupate signal.
Okay. Thank you very much. My name is Omondi Koyo. I am the Secretary General for National Liberal Party. And we are here to put into perspective and tell Kenyans the truth that Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka has decided to be very mean with and very economical with the truth. And first of all, we want to really appreciate the church for standing with the principles of democratic values and calling out liars and people who are actually at night, they are saying that they are saved, but during the day, that the people who are actually meting lots of evils upon the people of Kenya. It is important for the people of Kenya to understand the process on to how we really arrived at the Iebc selection panelist nominees that were representing the cluster under Azimio. Under Political Parties Liaison Committee, which is the nominating body, we had 3 clusters. The first cluster was that of Kenya Kwanza. Kenya Kwanza had got 2 candidates. Elections were conducted, winner declared, and there was no contention. Under non-parliamentary parties, there were 4 candidates. Elections were conducted, the winner was declared, there was no contention. Under Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition, where National Liberal Party belongs, elections were conducted. There were 2 candidates, Dr. Augustus Muli of National Liberal Party and Dr. Ambassador Koki Muli of Wiper Democratic Party. Elections were conducted by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission under the supervision of the Office of the Registrar of Political Parties. The election results were declared in the presence of the 90 registered political parties in Machakos. No one this end has actually disputed the election results as were declared in Machakos. No one has actually disputed the process as to how we arrived at the nominees at the selection panel. Everyone else left the voting venue satisfied and contented with the results and the process that led to us having the selection panelists. We were taken aback when Wiper, who had actually preempted even what the law would be by nominating Ambassador Koki Muli even before the president even assented to the bill. When we raised the objections, they later received a letter addressed to the Secretary General of Azimio, Junet. The letter came from the Office of the Registrar and from the Clerk of the Senate, telling them that you cannot handpick a candidate. You must involve all the constituent parties. In Azimio, we had around 4 candidates before we had the final list. The Martha Karua party had a candidate, but they dropped out of the race. Wiper candidate was Kokimuli, National Liberal Party candidate was Dr. Augustus, and there was a candidate for Jubilee Party. There was also another candidate from CCU Party. All of them dropped out of the race, and then we were left with only 2 candidates to contest for these elections. Now, it is a total mischief, deceit, and it is actually really disappointing of a person of the stature of His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka to start cheating the public and cheating the church, that the process as to which his preferred candidate was chosen was through the most democratic and a fair manner. We are therefore telling the Republic of Kenya, the church, and the people who really mean well for this country, that there was a vetting committee that was set up by legal government entities. The Iebc legal representative was present in that vetting committee that was vetting the candidates prior to the election. The office of the register of political parties had a legal representative. All the political parties chose their representative to sit in a 5-member committee that vetted all the candidates under all the 3 clusters. They vetted the candidates under the Kenya Kwanza cluster, they vetted all the candidates under the Azimio cluster, and they vetted the candidates all under the non-parliamentary parties. It cannot be that the legal entities that are actually funded by the taxpayers' money could all get it wrong. We've got very legal experts in the office of the register of political parties. We've got legal experts in the IEBC that cleared Dr. Augustus Muli to contest under the Azimio La Umoja One Kenya cluster. The law as established talks about Azimio coalition or minority coalition. The law does not talk about parliamentary party, even if you read it as is. It is just an afterthought na ukora na utapeli ya wanasiasa. Ile yenye sasa mtu akishashindwa unajaribu sasa kutafuta how will I get my preferred candidate into the selection panel. We are actually calling out His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka and his Wiper party. The 16 political parties in Azimio chose in a democratic process to elect Dr. Augustus Muli of National Liberal Party as their preferred nominee to the IEBC selection panel. To this end, nobody, even Azimio itself, has not even complained to the IEBC on the issue of us contesting in the wrong category. And if that will be the case, how is it that in Kenya Kwanza, nobody is complaining that even one of the parties that contested there, because they'd got several candidates, nobody has complained that some of them were not non-parliamentary, because a case in point is the Communist Party of Kenya. He contested against the UDA candidate, Nicodemus Bore. How is it that you want to single out as a new cluster that it is us who contested in the wrong category? It is not us who chose the category to contest in. Before elections, all parties were given the clusters where they belonged. Candidates campaigned, and everyone else was satisfied. The vetting committee cleared all the candidates. After our win, that is when now they're starting running helter-skelter with lots of lies. We are telling the leadership of this country, and we are telling the select factional grouping within Azimio that wants to cause a lot of disturbance. If you are a serious presidential candidate, and you can't even organize 23 political parties within Azimio and accept election results, how then are you going to accept a result that is going to be conducted by IEBC in 2027 that will involve more than 26 million Kenyans? If you cannot even organize yourself within Azimio, you can't even accept results as declared by IEBC of only 16 political parties against your candidates who miserably lost with 7 votes. How then are you going to accept results of 2027? It therefore means as Azimio, you are only showing us that you are a weak candidate whom we should not even trust. As Azimio, you are only telling us that we are preparing for a very bad defeat in 2027. We thought as a party we are organizing on how we can remove the Kenya Kwanza regime from government. But as things stand, it appears that you are only interested in sideshows and pettiness. And as a political party under Azimio, we are actually telling the leadership, we are not climbing down unless we get an express court order. With us, we only obey what the law dictates, but we don't obey the law of the man. We only obey and respect what the court will tell us. If the court says that we actually erred in contesting in the wrong category, we shall respect the courts. But for you to start lecturing us in public, lying to the church, left, right, center, because we thought we don't have a say, the mere fact that you have a microphone to lie to people every time and again in churches does not mean that most of us cannot speak. We shall speak and we shall tell you the truth as is. Thank you.